Hey guys, this is Lightstrike, coming at you with a different story. It is called Asylum. Oh, let me do an equivalent. It is called Asylum. And we're about to see what happens to the character, aka Twilight Sparkles. Twilight Sparkle, wait, chapter 1. It don't say anything. Twilight Sparkle was drawn awake by the unwelcome string of bright illumination. Her dreams burned away by harsh chemical lights. The shock of her being plucked from dreams so unkindly turned her thoughts into murder. She felt wrong. Her mind was clouded. Her limbs ached as if she had slept wrong all night. And even her heart felt heavy. Twilight groaned. She wanted to go back to sleep, but the instant light burrowed through her eyelids was letting her. Her sheets had betrayed her, immobilizing her in a tight cocoon, so she couldn't even roll onto her side to shield her face. Relief was impossible. Twilight surrendered to the inevitable and cracked open one eye, and immediately reckoned, blinking away the sudden rush of tears. "Spike!" she croaked, as she lifted her heavy stiff. Twilight tried to rub her eyes clear, but couldn't move more than a fraction of an inch. She must have tossed and turned in her sleep less than I got tangled up in her sheets, and the tight embrace of the blanket had pinned her legs to her sides. She was too tired and annoyed to feel foolish to the prospect of being tried by her own bidding. She would be embarrassed about it later. "Spike, I'm in no mood for your games. Shut the blinds already." Silence, mocked her. Twilight voted to have a talk with Spike about spending too much time with Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash. It was a time and place for pranks. Grumbling about childish dragons, she peered out through narrow lids like a nervous old mare. Yeah. Like an... Oh god, I gotta find where was that. To find way to green, she peered like a nervous old mare trying to find her glasses. Everything was just a constant shifting blur, shooting from observations by her tears, and the painful light assaulting her eyes. Something ticked back on her mind as she tried to create a meaning out of the instructive blur her home had become. There was something off, something wrong. This morning she snorted nervously off. "There's something wrong. I'm up far too early on my first day off in weeks. If this is some pony's idea of a prank, I'm not going to be very happy," she promised. More silence, finding the urge to grind her teeth. Twilight continued to try and focus on her surroundings, like stepping out into the noon sun after an all-nighter spent studying something she had more experience with than she cared to admit. Twilight was stuck, waiting for her eyes to adjust to the brightness. Originally, the library began to swim into view, rising out of the ancient waters to form clear shapes and colors. Twilight blinked again, this time in surprise. Desperate to pain, her eyes opened even wider. Where am I? Oh, I disappeared. The broad open spaces of the library, inventing oaken enters, have been replaced by small concrete blocks. Four walls, painted in an instrument two-tone coat of green and white. The looms over in metallic. It was cold, tiny, and clinic, as if the builders had crossed the hospital examination room with a broom closet. The only break-in within bare walls was a smooth metal door and matching livery opposite to where she was. The slender window instead of revealing nothing but moist, soulless walls. Outside, iced water tricked down her spine as her eyes looked on the thick metal bars bulging over the glass. It wasn't a clothes. It wasn't a closet. It was a prison? All the furniture in the room was her bed. It definitely wasn't the one she had fallen asleep in last night. In place of her blanket and housemaid quilt, there was only a single white sheet as clean and sterile as everything else in the room. She tried to push it off her, but something bit into her fat lock. Ma was lying in her limbs by her sides. Each attempt to sit upright failed as she was pushed back against the bed by a firm pressure across her chest. The unseen restraints had her pinned on her back, struck reclining in an unnatural straight and stiff sleeping position. Macabre images of insects trapped in the web of a spider dancing through her mind. A flat screen in Twilight's words as the shadow of a spider drew closer. It only features baleful eyes of burning fire. It wasn't helping. Thankfully, the strap across her torso was just loose enough to allow her to draw in her increasingly rapid breath. Twilight glanced around the room again in the hopes that she had missed something desperate for any sort of explanation. Her tongue was sandpaper in her mouth, her pupils small pinpricks of fright. Her heart rate quickened as the world started to close in around her. She needed to wake up. She needed to wake up now. The thought that had settled over her mind since she had been forced away clung to her mind with the upsetting tentacle leaving her thoughts slowly and jumped so hard to focus through the nervous mire. The scared feeling inside her wanted to scream and cry and beg and pray while one this nightmare ends. But the part of her that had drawn Celeste's attention, the part of her that had defeated Discord and protected the Crystal Empire and saved Ponyville a dozen times, that part of her was not going to surrender. A dozen faces flashed through her thoughts, friends and family, each bearing a smile of encouragement. Strength suffered her body as the memories of her beloved friends ran through her mind. I am not some helpless fool, Twilight said aloud with more confidence than she could muster, fighting unease with sheer willpower. She steadied herself and calmed her nerves. She naturally fell into the familiar routines necessary to call upon. That seems like the end of a chapter. I mean, not a chapter, but the end of part of the story. Herself and calmed her nerves. She naturally fell into this familiar routine necessary to call upon the magical forces that sedated Equestria, drawing the stands of her current energy into herself as easy as another pony might breathe. Most of her life had spent mastering the magical arts. There was no hubris in this declaration that she was one of the most natural gifted unicorns of her generation. Celeste had told her so many times, but each time she had followed what they were wanting. Such a gift was matched by an equal powerful responsibility. How did she even end up in this asylum? Twilight had seen it as her duty as much as her position to be Jesus Christ. To be the best appreciated she could be. And she had learned well, giving in to her fears with shame Celeste as she went for the princess. Not now. Not ever. Ruling and reassuring warmth filled her core. The thoughts of her beloved teacher as integrant and as the arcane power she wielded, burning her lip, Twilight began to weave the energy to a complex geonomic shape. With her mind, telekinesis was one of the most basic of powers unicorn fools mastered. It was when they were learning how to read and write. It was something so inherent and real utilized that the spell itself was almost a subconscious act. He had floated an Ursa Minor all the way out of Ponyville. Once the she was gone, the locks and restraints concealed beneath it would be undone. Its mere moments freedom was waiting in her grasp. Nothing happened. Front crossed Charlotte's face as the facade strength and confidence she had crafted slipped her horn. It was cold and heavy and unresponsive. Her frustration matched her incompetence like a shear of her horn was leaking out of the arcane energy as quick as she pulled them into herself. Grating her teeth, she tried harder, opening her mind to draw upon the exponent's more energy. She strained beneath the weight of all of it. Electric fire racing through her mind, she wouldn't give up so easily. The edge of sweat stung her eyes as they rolled down her face. Desperately, she gorged herself on arcane power. Her limbs twitched, evident in the restraints, striking as if it began. Electronically, she had gone beyond her limits. Her neighboring applause were being scrambled by the energy she was trying to bend to her will. It was a beast of fire and lightning, doing space to break free and turn on her. She paused away, her pain and fear fighting against it with every great externalization. She didn't care how dangerous and full it was. She was so close. This has to work. The pain in her eyes, Lynn says the sweat was dulled by fresh tears. Please let it work. A scream asked in French, stretching tore from her dry throat, and she finally lost control. The invisible pattern of arcane power disintegrated like a cobweb caught in the powerful breeze. Twilight collapsed back against the puddle like a puppet with strings cut mind and body ached in the aftermath of her frantic attempts. Leaving her feeling drained and hollow, she gulped down air like a drowning pony breaking the surface, soft groans escaping between its breath. Guys, I'm gonna end it here. This was the Asylum, and this might actually be a great story. It has so many chapters. It gives a great amount of stories. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. Bye.